Hey, how's it going? My name is Slade Hart. I am founder of Slade's Guitar School, and what we do is we teach people how to play guitar by ear. First of all, I want to say thank you for opting in. I really appreciate that you're curious about guitar and that you want to learn how to play guitar by ear. Like I said, I'm going to give you 3 free techniques that will allow you to start playing guitar by ear, right from the get-go. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the first of those techniques so you can have a couple days to practice it. All right, playing guitar by ear to me is really just a ton of fun. In its essence, that's the reason I like to do it. It's because it's fun. It allows me to do things that I couldn't do when I couldn't play guitar by ear. So, for example, what can I do? Well, I can take music outside of my head. So if I have a melody in my head, I can play it on my instrument. I can find the melody. I can find a chord progression that I hear in my head on my instrument. Or if I'm listening to a song on the radio or on my iPod or something like that, I can analyze it with my ear and figure it out, letting my ear tell me where to play and what to play. Okay, what this allows any person to do that can play by ear is to improvise freely, to really have a lot more fun jamming with other musicians because you can always stay in key. You don't have to worry about like, well, is this right or is this wrong? You just listen and your ear will tell you whether you're right or wrong or where you want to be or whether you're not where you want to be. And that to me just really opens the door to a lot of musical possibilities in terms of songwriting, again, learning new songs, improvising, and just kind of exploring your musical horizons. So having an open ear that can figure stuff out, allows you to play by ear, is a really important skill for any guitarist to have. And I think it's more than just an important skill, it's a really fun skill to develop. The problem that we have as guitarists, of course, is that, I say of course because I think probably a lot of people would agree with me on this, is that guitarists in general, especially amateur guitarists, have a very, lazy ear typically. And, one of the reasons is that we have these frets that tell us basically where to put our fingers. So we're not like the violinist where we have to find every note and listen to everything that we play, for fear of falling out of tune, which can happen really easily on an instrument like the violin or the cello or the oboe or an instrument like that. We have these frets. We have these chord patterns that are very easy to memorize, and so we kind of know what to do pretty quickly. We can play a song pretty quickly, but what happens is that if we don't take the time to develop our ear and listen to what we're playing, our ear gets lazy and we can fall slightly out of tune and maybe not notice, or maybe we can be improvising with some other guys or girls and we don't play in the right key, but we don't quite notice that we're not in the right key, or we're learning a song, but we miss a couple of chords because we weren't listening closely enough to the music to really decide what was, determine what was happening in the music and translating that onto our own instrument. So, if you have a lazy ear and you're a guitarist, don't worry about it. I was exactly the same way. I started playing guitar when I was 14 and just taking lessons once a week with a local teacher. And what he would do was essentially run me through, pop songs that were popular in the day. I'm 30 years old now, so when I was, starting to play, there were a lot of bands like, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Pearl Jam, U2, Metallica, early Radiohead, bands like that that were, on the scene, relatively new, maybe in some cases. But that's what, kids my age wanted to learn how to play. And so that's what I was learning to play. And so my teacher would show me the chords or show me the scales and that I needed. But what I noticed after a while was that it wasn't quite enough. I started jamming with other guitarists, and I joined a guitar group in my high school, and we would have, improvisation sessions, and we'd maybe play a blues or a jazz progression. But I would notice more and more that what would happen was that I would either play in the wrong key, or I would get off key and not notice it, or I would drop the beat or something like that, just because my ear wasn't awake and really paying attention to what was going on around me musically. And so after a while, that became frustrating. I decided that I'd had enough of that. I wanted to get better. I wanted to be able to keep up with these guys. And the only way that was going to happen was for me to train my ear. Now, I didn't know you could train your ear at this time, so I kind of felt like I was lost. Well, I guess, I either quit or I just hope that lightning strikes and I get really good somehow overnight. That changed, though, when I signed up for a music theory class in high school, and I discovered that you can, in fact, take steps to open your ear up and to hear more deeply into music and to what you're listening to. And as soon as I discovered that, I began to deliberately train my ear. And when I started to do that, then all sorts of new possibilities became, possible. I could improvise over just about anything I heard. I could learn new songs just by listening to the music on the radio, or, take songs out of my head. If I had a musical idea, I could translate it onto my guitar. And these were really satisfying experiences. My playing became more expressive. I began to enjoy playing guitar more. I began wanting to practice more. And, just the more my ear became open, the more I could hear music, the more enjoyable, the more fun it was, and the more I wanted to do it. So learning to play by ear is important for a number of reasons, but I think, again, the most important reason is that it makes the guitar, even though it's already fun, it makes it 10 times more fun than it is, before you can play by ear. So that's basically kind of my story, how I got into playing guitar by ear. And I wanted to tell you that because I want you to know that if you say, well, I don't think I can do this, I wasn't born with a good ear or something like that, that I wasn't really born with one either. It's something I had to develop. And, again, if I can develop it, you can develop it too. I can guarantee you that. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you that first set of techniques. I'm going to break it up into a couple of sections. The reason being is that I recognize some people watching this may not have a guitar yet. They may just be looking into getting lessons. Others may have a guitar, but they have difficulty tuning it. And then there's still others that can tune the guitar relatively easily, and they have a good basic understanding of how to play. They're just looking for an inroad to make more progress more quickly. So what I've done here is I've embedded a tuner underneath this video. So if you have a guitar and you can tune it, go ahead and get it tuned up. Pause the video now and tune your guitar, and then press play. We'll continue. If you don't have a guitar, or you have a guitar but you can't tune it, don't worry about it. You can do this exercise too, and I'm going to break it up, let's say, into two parts. Okay. So for the guitarists that have a guitar, they can tune the instrument. What I want you to do immediately is start singing every single thing that you play. All right. So if you decide one day that you're going to play a G major scale, and starting on this low G, I want you to sing the scale as you play it. So let's go ahead. We'll do it like this. It's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. All right, so that's what we do. We sing everything that we play. It doesn't matter what it is. If you sing a chord, let's say you play a G major chord. All right. Well, there are a lot of notes that are being played. You say, well, which note do I sing? Well, start with the root. So if I play a G, I go G, G, like that, all right? Now, when you get that down, it's easy enough. You can play a C, C, sing the root of a chord. What you can do after that is you can sing the third of the chord. So if that gets boring, start singing the third. So the third in a G chord is a B. That's right here where my middle finger is. B, so you go B, B, and then you can sing the fifth, D, D, like that, all right? So there's a lot of different things that you can sing. For example, if you're playing a chord. The point I want to get across is that I want you to be singing while you're playing. This is very good advice. And how do I know it's good advice? The two of the most famous and probably most accomplished pianists of the 20th century, Glenn Gould and Van Cliburn, were both taught initially by their mothers. And their mothers both gave them the same advice when starting out, which was that they should sing every single thing that they play. And it obviously worked for them, and it's worked for me, and I think it can work for you too. Now, I'm not putting myself on the level of those guys. What I'm saying, though, is that it's a really good skill to develop, and anyone can develop it. And it will make your playing ultimately more convincing, because the voice really is the first instrument. And so when you can tie your voice into your guitar, then you're really going to start to make some progress and start to really, listen more deeply to what you're playing. So again, we play everything we sing everything that we play. So we'll play like a G minor scale, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F sharp, G. Okay, as you start to play and sing more and more, you can sing more quickly. And but the bottom line here is to sing and to be singing all the time. If a song comes on the radio and you don't have a guitar, sing. And this moves into the second part of the discussion. This is for people who don't know how to tune their instrument yet, or they don't even have a guitar. They're just looking into getting lessons. Sing all the time. If you have a song on the radio, it doesn't matter what it is, sing along to it. Hum the melody if you don't know the words. If you have a song in your head while you're maybe walking to work or walking down the street or whatever, start singing it, start humming it. Get into the act of actually creating music, creating pitch, creating harmonies, creating melodies, and doing it actively by singing. Get them out of your head. When you start to do this, you become a much more musical person. Now, a lot of people say, well, okay, so what? I can't sing, so why should I sing? Or people can't stand it when I sing. There was a friend of mine named Samantha in high school, and she, our senior year, she started singing. Now, she had a terrible voice starting out. It was really bad. It was really hard to listen to her. But she was very persistent. She kept singing and singing, literally every single day, all the time. And I'm not kidding, within a month, she went from not even being able to stay on key to being pitch perfect right on key and being able to carry the tune. Now that happened in a month for her, and that was really just her singing and listening to herself sing and correcting herself. So if she can do it, again, this is someone with maybe she has innate talent, but it's not developed yet. And maybe you have innate talent too, but it's not developed yet. The point is that you can develop it, and you should start today. And singing is the fundamental thing that you need to get down first, because when you can sing and sing what you hear, you can then start to play what you hear as well, because you're able to match pitch more accurately, and you're producing sound more accurately, and by doing so, you're opening up again the ability to start learning to play guitar by ear and letting your ear be the guide as to what you play. Let the ear guide what you play. So sing. Again, if you're a guitarist and you can already play some stuff, sing whatever it is that you can play. Sing all the notes and the chords, sing the melody, sing the lyrics, sing the verse, whatever it is. And if you don't have a guitar yet, you're just looking into getting lessons, you can start now by singing whatever music you hear on the radio, your favorite tunes, what you're listening to on your iPod. Singing is an important skill. It's something any human being can do. It's something we're all born with the ability to do. And really, ultimately, it's not a whole lot different than talking. Your brain doesn't distinguish between the two. And so if you can speak, you can sing. Now, this is step one in learning to play by ear. And again, it's reinforcing the idea that what you hear, you can you can spit out, you can recapitulate, you can remake, for example. So if I hear a note, I can sing that note. If I hear this G, 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 I can sing the G. And what that does is it makes a connection in your brain between what you hear and what you produce musically. In this case, it's with your voice, but ultimately it will translate onto your instrument as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think this is something that if you can do, you should practice as much as you possibly can. And I understand we have time constraints and things in our life that we have to take care of, but you should find time, maybe 20, even 30 minutes a day just for singing. And that could be spread out, on your commute to work, going to school, wherever you may find yourself during the day when you have an opportunity to. But when you have an opportunity to sing, and if you're already practicing, sing what you play, all right? It's very important, it's very easy, and it's a lot of fun, and it will increase the enjoyment of music, and it will start you down the path to being able to play by ear, which is something that, ultimately we all want to achieve on our instrument. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you find this useful. I hope this really helps you. And I hope you stick around for the second part, because in the next lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing rhythm and how you can really enhance your perception of rhythm, your understanding of rhythm, and your ability to produce and create rhythms. And I'm going to dispel some myths about rhythm too, so you should check it out because it's going to be some really interesting information. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. Remember to sing everything you play and sing everything you hear, if you can, and you have the opportunity to. And stick around for the second video, and that should be in your inbox in 2 or 3 days. So when it gets there, go ahead, open it when you have time, check it out, do the exercises, and again, I hope it's helpful to you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a couple days. Take care.